Well, good morning and welcome back to Log Cabin Firewood. Today we got a few things we're going to get into. I finished doing a couple things around here, a couple things I need to get started because I'm planning on pulling the 916 home here soon. It's still over at Brad's. Let's see what we can get into today. Stick around. We are at the trusty fire pit, burning a bunch of scraps that was left over from this year's heating season so far. This was some of the pieces that I used to weigh the tarps down, a bunch of bark, a bunch of just off pieces that when I stacked this stuff 2 years ago, I was stacking everything in there. Not just the good firewood, there was a bunch of, smaller pieces that I wasn't going to get rid of. So we burned it here. And I'm sure you guys have noticed the massive piles of bark I've got here. This is a pile of maple bark. Same thing with this one over here. This is all maple bark and some mulberry. But because my wood here has been here for 3 years, the bark just falls right off. And if I throw this in the basement with the bark on, it just makes a dusty mess. Yes, bark burns, it's dry, but I'd rather just throw it in the fire pit out here. We will probably throw another load of this in the wheelbarrow and get rid of this. And I'll be honest with you, last week when I was doing those pallets, I thought I was on the mend, but I kind of cut that video short because I started feeling awful again. I brought those few loads into the house for our home heating. That really kicked my butt. I thought I was on the mend from whatever sickness I was having, but obviously I wasn't. I went and laid down for probably 4 hours after that and took a good nap because it just wiped me out. But we are feeling a lot better now. And check this out. I did get a lot more pallets set up, and I didn't record any of it because I just came out here and started going to town working, enjoying some music, some podcasts, and all that good jazz. But here's what we come up with. So here's the one that we did last week to finish up that row of gum. Then we've got the cherry and oak and locust here. And here's the other one that we set up. It gives us 2. And then here, we've got a few more set up. We've got Veda getting the zoomies. But we went through and we set up 2, 4, 6, and 8. I wanted to get 5 rows here, but I really didn't account for what I had to do to get in the center. I wanted to keep a good gap, not only so that I could blow leaves out of these, but that I can throw a wheelbarrow in here when needed, if needed, to access this wood. This here is all I've got left for bundle wood. I've got there's 1 cord of maple there. This stuff over here, that's a neighbor. She likes to buy a couple pieces just to throw in her fireplace, so she'll probably get that here soon. But that's all I've got left that's seasoned, and it's 1 cord of some maple. So we'll have to see. We might run out of bundle wood here soon. Might have to buy some, might have to find some somewhere. But I'm probably going to keep these other 2 pallets as they are, or these other 3 I should say. This one here, I might end up turning this way, but my little landscaping trailer, it gets parked right here. So I may end up moving this one there, but those 2 are going to stay in the same spot that they're in. We still have this stuff back here to fill up. I got a little bit of cherry in the back here, empty pallet. Half of this pallet here is all junk. This was some of that stuff that I pulled out of the woods. Sure, it's decent wood, but it's like paper, and it's there's a lot of poplar in here too. Most of it's red maple, but there's a lot of poplar. I'm gonna sort through half of this, and it's really from here over. Probably a face cord altogether, and the rest of it's all good maple that our good buddy Funk gave us over the summer. But I'm probably gonna end up turning most of this to campfire wood. We've got good red oak back here that we'll keep stacking on. So altogether we've got 1, 2, we're gonna call that, we won't even count that yet. So there's 2 empty pallets, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. So we have room for 14 more cord to go on the property. Now mind you, a lot of that wood is not all for sale. We do heat with wood. So what we don't keep for ourselves will become for sale, which is right around 10 cord, which brings something else up. I've gotten a lot of comments from family and friends and co-workers that I used to work for my previous jobs. And they've all reached out and they're like, wow, you're doing really good, you know, selling firewood. I can't believe you quit your real job. I never quit my real job. A lot of people think that there's a ton of money in firewood. No, there's not. I don't know how anybody could just jumpstart and start a business in firewood without going completely in the hole. You figure a truck, a trailer, and a good commercial grade splitter. If you were to buy all them new, it's over $100,000. For, you know, what I'm doing, 10 cord a year, we're gonna call that, you know, $2,500, $3,000. Compared to over $100,000, you took a major loss. Can that be beneficial? Sure, it can. If you are legit and you file taxes, which I am now. Log cabin firewood is 100% legit. Do I need to be? Probably not at this point. I'm not large enough to actually be there, but in time I want to take on more clients, and I do want to turn my sales over to more bundles and smoker grade woods. So I went ahead and did the right thing and got set up with the state and the IRS and all that good jazz. It's not fun. As you develop more commercial clients, that's just one of the things that they're going to ask. They're going to want your business name. They're not going to want to say, here, Jack, here's a check for $100 for the couple bundles you just gave us. They're going to want to say, hey, what's your company name? What's your business name? What is your EIN number? So that we can 1099 you at the end of the year. So that's just something to keep in mind. It's not necessary, especially if you're a sole proprietor. Sole proprietorship, you can use your own social security number. But for me, I make way too much money at my real job. And I don't want to incorporate the firewood with my real job because then it just raises my tax level. So we went ahead and started this. That way it's all legit and we're doing the right thing. But the fire's getting puny. So we are going to stoke this a little bit. And then we can go fill up the wheelbarrow with some of this bark over here. And I think I'm going to start cutting on some of the wood that's over here in the woods. We're supposed to get some rain later on today. And I wanted to get some of it cut up because I do intend on bringing the splitter home here soon. I got a little bit left at Brad's I need to take care of. But work kind of this week threw us for a loop and threw us a bunch of work, like a bunch of overtime. They've got us working scheduled 16 hours shifts, which is absurd. I've done that for the past, 4 days now? And we even worked President's Day for a little bit extra funds. But that's gonna come to an end. We probably got another 5 days of this, and then I will be back to no overtime. But it's wild, we haven't had overtime in almost 3 months, and now all of a sudden it's like, hey, we got to get this done. All hands on deck. But that's cool though. I'm very thankful, very grateful to be employed to where I can make overtime. There's so much bark here. Yeah, so again, I probably didn't need to go all out with the tack stuff, but we did, just because we do plan on becoming bigger in the upcoming years. It's not going to happen this year. I don't have enough wood right now to even say that I could sell home heating wood in 2024. Me being in the shade here, it takes our wood a little bit longer to season. I'm not going to send out semi-seasoned wood. If my wood's not seasoned, it's not going out. So we'll see what happens this year, if we can get anything ready. The stuff out by the road, I'm sure it will leave. The sweet gum, I'm probably going to fill my trailer up and take a picture of it when I split it and say, hey, look, you know, I've got cords of sweet gum split, ready to go, green. I don't know, for a cheap price, just to unload it, because it's really not very good wood. It's great for this. It's great campfire wood. That's about it. But it was pretty exciting getting everything set up with a CPA, talking to them, exploring options. Me as a content creator, what I can and can't do, things that I could potentially write off, you know, anything associated with this, cameras, microphones, you know, essentially it's a write-off. It all depends on, you know, what you're doing and how you're doing it and all that good jazz. But it's always good to get set up, you know, the right way. You know, I did the right thing the first couple, I guess the past 2 years. You know, I was set up with Department of Natural Resources that gave me the right to sell a forest product, and you know, there was rules that we had to abide by with that. You know, it has to be seasoned, has to be sold by the cord or fraction of. We're not allowed to advertise as face cords or ricks or anything other than fractions of a cord. But you know, most people know what a face cord is by now. It's 2024. A face cord is a third of a cord. A third of a cord is a face cord. But hey, check this out. Good news. We've got exciting news going on next door. The excavator is finally showing up to take care of my neighbor's poor house. I just had a talk with him, and he went through a lot of trouble getting what he needed to even demo his home. It should not be that hard with processing and permits and all that crap that you have to deal with counties when you lose everything to rebuild your home. It's wild, the hoops they made this guy go through. All right, well, we got a little bit cut up. I didn't have much time to actually get this cut up, but I think another hour and I'll have this done. I have to go in 6 hours for another 16-hour shift, and I have only taken a 20-minute nap so far. So it's time for me to go take a shower and get cleaned up and go back to my real job. So that's going to be it for today. I thank you all for tuning in and watching Log Cabin Firewood and coming along on this journey of ours. Make sure you smash that like button and subscribe if you like this kind of stuff, and we'll see you back here next Saturday, 6:30 a.m. Thanks so much, guys, and take care of each other.